Hey, this is Connor, and I wanted to talk a minute about discriminants. So, discriminants are talking about part of the quadratic formula. So, the quadratic formula tells us that if ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, then x equals negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that put that to the Pop Goes the Weasel tune or other tunes. So if you're not good at memorizing that, that's a way to memorize it. And for my Math 1220 students, that is one of the formulas you're allowed to write on your paper before you start taking your test. So make sure you're reading those testing tips because that's one of them. So we just want to talk about that square root part. So when we're talking about discriminants, we're not trying to find the solution to the equation. What we are trying to find is just how many solutions are there. So we're doing part of the problem, we're not doing the entire problem. So think about what happens if you take the square root of a negative number. So if I take the square root of a negative number, I know that the answer is going to be a non-real. So it's going to be a non-real complex number. If I have one answer that is the positive version of that and another answer that uses the negative version of that, that means that I am going to have two non-real complex answers. But if the question is how many real answers do you have 0 real answers. Okay. So if you find b squared minus 4ac, you find out what the answer is, you find out that the answer is negative, that automatically tells you the solutions to the original equation. You're going to have 0 real answers, you're going to have 2 non-real answers. If you think about what happens if you take the square root of 0, okay, square root of 0 is just 0. And so if I take negative b plus minus 0 over 2a, I am going to get negative b over 2a. That is the same answer if we use the plus version or the minus version. And so we only get one answer. It is going to be real. And sometimes we care about the fact that it is even going to be rational. So you find the answer to b squared minus 4ac. You find that the answer to that is 0. That means that the quadratic equation that you are looking at has exactly one real rational answer. Okay, and the third and final case that we can encounter is that this might be positive. And so if you take the square root of a positive number, you get a real answer. It may be rational, it may be irrational, depending on whether that positive number is a perfect square or not. But regardless of whether it's rational or irrational, we know that it's going to be real. So again, we are using the positive version of that and the negative version of that, and so that means that you are going to have 2 real answers. So that means if b squared minus 4ac gives you a positive answer, then that means that the quadratic equation that you are solving will have 2 real answers for sure. They may be rational, they may be irrational, but they will be real.